Hey, what's up, everyone? Hey, friends. Welcome back to Evergreen Marketing Live by Carrot.com, the show where every week we're teaching you a new marketing tactic to help you master online marketing so you can build a business of freedom and impact. That's what we're here for. If you're live with us right now, pop in your questions. If you're listening to the audio podcast after the fact, join us every week at 11 a.m. live in the Facebook group. But anyways, do a little small talk and we'll kick it off here. We're talking about blog posts today. Do they matter? Are they still relevant? But anyways, that's what we're going to get into. What's new in your world, Trevor?
What's new, man? Dude, we were showing sheep last weekend.
Showing sheep.
That's all Colton thinks about. It's all my son thinks about, showing sheep, dude. So we headed down to Klamath Falls, borrowed one of our friends' sheep, and he showed him 4 times. He did good. He did good. And my parents were there. So that was kind of a highlight, being able to have him show in front of my parents, which was fun.
Yeah.
But
awesome,
next
man.
week, dude, next week's a big week. So I'm going to be in Tampa, Florida next week.
Yeah.
For a few days at an event, speaking there in front of a bunch of industry influencers in this space.
Are you going to family?
Yeah.
You are doing family? Okay, nice.
Yep. I'll be there speaking there, and then fly direct from Tampa to Louisville, Kentucky. And I was told by Bo Hollis it's not Louisville. So anyone out there who says Louisville, it's Louisville.
The tip is you got to say it like you got food in your mouth. Louisville.
There we go.
Louisville.
You said it even better.
Yeah.
So it's not even Ville, it's Vol.
Louisville.
Okay. I like it. So we're heading there for our Epic Intensive. So the Epic group is our big high level group.
Yeah.
There's 30 something people in the group. We're gonna have like 30 or 31 of them there, and it's gonna be killer, dude. I can't say now, but we've got some cool things in store for that group. And I've never been to Louisville before.
Hey,
and first time.
That's exciting, man. That's super awesome. I can't wait to hear how the trip goes, man.
Yeah, and we're meeting with we've got other Carrot customers there. So if you happen to be listening to this live, not recorded, and you're in that area, or you're in Lexington or something like that, hit me up on IG. Just DM me on IG. We'd love to invite you to a lunch or to a dinner. We already have, I think, 6 or 7 Carrot members that are going to be joining us there for meals, and it'll be fun.
Sweet.
Yep.
All right. Well, sweet. Let's get into it. We'll kick off the podcast and we'll get talking about blog posts here. Let's roll. If you want to convert more website visitors into leads who are educated and ready to close, they're predisposed to want to work with you, having the right blog content on your site is proven to boost conversion. We've got the data, we'll show you. But not just any blog strategy is going to work. So you don't want random content. Today, Trevor and I are going to be breaking down why blogs are still relevant. Are they still relevant in 2024 for local search? And why we feel and why we see that they're still a powerful marketing tool. We're going to talk about some of the do's and don'ts and the high-level strategy of how to use them. And then over the coming weeks, we'll do a couple episodes on some of the topics and keywords to get into. But let's kick it off. Trevor, are blog posts, I feel like even as a marketer who works for Carrot.com, even when I say blog posts, it just feels a little bit antiquated.
It feels 2008-ish.
It does. It makes me think of MySpace and Yahoo and New Internet.
Yep.
Our blog posts, we just need to come up with a new name.
Because let's go back here. So even in like the word blog is weblog. It's like someone logs in and they make it was a journal.
That's the conversation we have with our kids, and their brain just goes, "What?"
Yeah, that's what blogs were at the start. It was a journal. Like you had your static pages, right? It was your home page, and the static pages that way back in the day with Dreamweaver or whatever tool you're using, you create these static pages, but then you attach on this other software like WordPress or Blogger, or you have your own. You're on Blogger.com or something.
Yeah, Blogger.com.
And that's your weblog. That's where it's not static. I post content. It pushes down the last piece of content down the page. It's got a date on it. Hey, I posted something. So I think that is helpful, setting the stage. Like what are blogs and why do they even exist?
There's this perception of like, oh, it's for, I don't know, it's just for like my personal, it's my travel blog. It's my personal journey. It's for my recipes and showing the world what I'm up to. There's just a little bit of a misconception on like, what do we use them for?
Yeah. So are they still relevant, right? So you asked that question. Well, I think in the traditional context of what blogs were used for 20 years ago, Yeah, they're still relevant if you're wanting to kind of catalog your life story, or if you're an author or an expert and you're just kind of putting down an article on what you're thinking about, right? But for service-based businesses, real estate investors, agents, home services, you're gonna want to look at it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're not just going to be sitting there posting, "Hey, I hired Johnny this week, and we had this celebration." Those are things I think you should put in your blogs, right? Those are great things, company announcements, things that help you feel connected to, or that you're announcing to the market. That's perfect for blogs. Okay. But now, how do we use blogs to get traffic and new customers?
Yeah.
There was a debate in a Facebook group a couple of years ago where people were saying, around the time when Google was really hammering websites with duplicate content,
Yeah.
right? Where the blogs were cannibalizing location page keywords. People were saying blogs are irrelevant. You don't need blog pages. You don't need blog posts. And I even then, I argued it with everyone. I'm like, well, we have to define what it means, number one. And number two, you can't paint a broad stroke saying that blogs don't work. We have to say what is the purpose of them, and who is going to benefit the most from that strategy.
Yeah.
And so what they were saying at that time was that you don't need blog posts in this space to get leads, because most of the leads come from location pages. That's true. That's true. 80% plus of your leads from motivated house sellers or cash buyers or things like that, or HVAC, are going to come from your niche specific or location specific pages. Sell My House Fast Roseburg, or HVAC, or AC repair Roseburg. That's where the majority of your leads are going to come from.
Yeah.
Right. Because they have higher volume, they're higher up in that hierarchy of what the prospect is looking for, and they're closer to the decision phase of purchasing.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are the most important. But then if you're wanting to really scale out a strategy, you want to dominate a local market. Like you want to dominate Pacific Air Comfort. They're one of our HVAC clients. You want to dominate Roseburg and Eugene and the other markets they're in. I think you need to go one layer deeper than niche pages or location pages. And that's where the traditional blog comes in. But we're going to show you kind of a different way to think about blogs. But yes, they're 100% relevant still. They do get leads, they do get traffic, but you have to understand where they land in the strategy.
Yeah. So we'll share some examples of like how people are generating leads with this. Trevor, do you have the data on conversion? Did we find that for when it went live?
Yeah. So one of the questions that pops up is people say, well, are blog posts actually meant to get leads? Like, can they get leads, or are they just this thing that we throw out there that supports the location page that it's attached to, or supports the niche pillar page that it's attached to? And we'll define what these mean, guys. We'll define niche pillar page or topic cluster a little bit more here in a bit. But yeah, they do get leads if you set them up right. So I'm going to read through some data here. There was a blog on how to buy New Mexico land, 8 things to watch out for. Over this period of time, I looked at it, 371 leads. Like, that's actual people looking to buy land. 371 people input the information into the blog post. Okay. Now this isn't the people put the information, they were on the blog post and then they click to the homepage. 371 people converted to a lead on the blog post itself. Okay. Another one, want free abandoned houses for real estate near me. I'm just grabbing these out of data, guys. I don't know what that even means. But 208 people out of 3,600 people who visited that page, they opted in as a lead in that blog. They were on the page on average 30 seconds. The one before, it was 1:18. I'll route off a few more. Cheapest states to buy land in 2022. So this is still getting traffic. 196 leads during that time. Then there's some more. There's some that are more of the location page or niche page. I wouldn't consider these blogs, but let's now go down. How much does land cost per acre in Virginia? 77 leads. How can you find free rent-to-own home listings in Winston-Salem? 477 leads.
Sheesh.
This is more of a niche or location page. How to sell. Oh no, this is how to sell a house with a tenant in it. A blog post.
Yeah.
2,400 people saw it. On average, they stayed on the page for 2.5 minutes reading it, and 475 leads came from it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this one's in Hispanic. Departamentos en Remate Bancario has 77 leads with an on page time of over 2 minutes. So,
wow.
Then this is just a sampling.
Yeah.
Okay. So that hopefully shatters the thought of, do blogs get leads? They do if you set them up right. And we're going to talk about how, but they are a part of the strategy. and they are a less than 20% of the part of the strategy as far as leads goes for real estate investors and home services.
Yeah.
They're a 80% of the strategy if you're a national information-based business, you're a news organization, things like that.
Okay. So to summarize, like where blogs, so if you're asking where do blogs fit into your overall marketing strategy, it's one, to attract new visitors through some of these long tail keywords, these key phrases like you just mentioned, people are
Yep.
typing in. Some of these are obscure. which
Yeah,
we'll
they
talk
are.
about some of these obscure ones in a couple weeks here, but and then also to build up the overall credibility and authority of your website, because we've seen it proven to boost conversion of websites that publish blog posts versus those who don't
Yep.
convert leads at a significantly higher rate.
Dude, what's that? Do you have that stat in front of
I
you?
don't. That's what I was looking
It
for
was
all over.
quite a bit. It was
If
quite a bit.
if my coworker, I won't call him out. If he gets back to me and sees my message, we'll give you the data live. But hopefully you find that stat.
It was measurable though. It was
measurable.
like, if you don't do this, you should do this.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. It's worth it.
Exactly. The website overall converts leads at a higher rate
Yep.
by people passing through the blog. They're more educated. They're just more motivated.
Yeah.
They're further along in what we call the customer journey.
And part of it too. So now let's kind of go into, if I'm skipping over something, Brady, let me know. But
You good.
like, where do blogs fit in, and kind of how do they work now? Right.
Yeah. What's the strategy?
So the first thing I'll kind of bring up is, does a blog have to be /blog / the URL structure? Does it have to have /blog in
That
it?
keeps me up at night.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's just kind of the generally accepted structure.
Yeah.
Right. Does it hurt SEO? No, it doesn't hurt SEO to have it there.
Yeah.
Can you eliminate, like in the Carrot platform, can you eliminate the /blog part? Yeah, you can. You can go into the settings, you can eliminate that part, and have even your blogs just be, your domain name.com / whatever. Now, should you do that? I don't think it matters. So it's one of those things to pay attention to or not.
Okay.
So now we look at it and go, where do they fit in? So there's something called topic clusters, and we have a good help center tutorial that we can send you guys over to. But if you were to go to the help center and literally just go to help.carrot.com, and you go to the help center and go to the search box, and we'll put it in the Facebook side of things. We'll link this up if you're on live with us on Facebook or YouTube. Just look in there and search blog content SEO strategy, or you could probably even look up blog content strategy or something. You're going to find this piece of content in there that Mallory and our team put together, and it gives you an overview. It goes deep on it. Like, it goes probably even deeper than you want to know. But the high level of it is, in my opinion, there's really only two reasons or two ways to use a blog in this type of industry. One way is one I already mentioned. It's for news. It's for announcing the cool product line that you came out with, for announcing that you hired a new technician, Johnny, and you're going to talk about Johnny. It's for announcing your, this big milestone you hit as a company. It's for talking about the community service that you did in the area. That's like, we want to breathe life to our website and our business, and have people see that, oh, this business is active, and here's some of the people in it. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's something that people don't do enough. I'd love to see real estate investors and real estate agents post more of that. Hey, here's Sally. She just joined the team. Let's talk about what Sally does, what her experience is, and how she's going to help serve you. When we're thinking about EAT with Google, expertise, experience, authority, and trust, I can't prove this, but this is my thesis, is that when we do those things right, it helps to build authority, expertise, right? Experience and trust. It helps to build those things. It's a part of the content structure. So that's one way. The next way then is as a supporting piece of content to a niche or location page.
Yeah.
Okay, niche, pillar, or location page. So what are location pages? A location page is, for me, it's your primary keywords you're going after: sell my house, or sell my house fast, or cash home buyers, or things like that. It's Roseburg HVAC company. It's repairing an HVAC or repairing AC in Roseburg. It's things like that, niche and localized.
Yeah.
Right. You want to have that be a long piece of content. That should be robust. It should be long. It should be expert driven. It should have your experience in it, showing examples of projects you've done and talking about this project over here, and show some reviews and testimonials. Should be a strong piece of content, right? But then to really make it pop, now that one page can do really well by itself. But to make it pop and show that you're an expert or an authority in that topic, it's sometimes helpful to have supporting blog posts or supporting pages that are around that topic go a little bit deeper and they
Mhm.
link together. It
Right.
tells Google, hey, not only, yeah, we do, and we're experts in AC repair in Roseburg, or we're experts in buying land in Roseburg, buying bare land, but you know what? We're really, really experts in it, and we're going to show 4 case studies, examples, and our experience in these other ones.
Yeah.
So on
You're
the
showing Google that topical authority.
exactly, so like with the HVAC or AC example, you might have your niche page that is AC repair in Roseburg, but then you might have 4 or 5 pages that are, what does it cost to repair an AC in
Mhm.
Roseburg? And then you just have 800 words of talking about how the cost structure is created, and then it has a call to action on it. It links back up to the other one.
Yeah.
It could
Best
be
type of HVAC unit for Southern Oregon.
yeah, it could be 2 or 3 the biggest types of AC units in the area. There's ductless, and then there's there's the different parts of an AC unit, right? And what are the most often repaired parts of an AC?
Yeah.
Talk about it and link it up to that article, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So those are the types of things you would do. Shows authority, shows that you're a topic expert. Don't make it all just AI. That's what I see a lot of people are doing is they're missing
Mm.
the entire part of the EAT equation, showing that they have expertise and experience on it.
Yeah.
They're showing authoritativeness on it, that hey, look at the stuff we know, but they're not showing that they have experience in it,
Yeah.
or that they themselves are the expert on it. You need to
Right.
put that more in the content.
Yeah, I think I feel like maybe I brought this up recently, but like Alex Hormozy does this really well in a lot of
Yeah.
his content. It's the theory versus here's what we
Mm.
done. The
Yep.
authoritativeness is like here's what you should do or here's what people do.
Hmm.
The experience is here's what I did.
Yep.
Here's what we've done over the past. It's that
Exactly.
proof, the quantifiable results.
And if you are using AI for your content, I did it the other day. You can put a little prompt in there that helps you build in the EAT. You can put a prompt in there and say, "Hey, I want to make sure that the EAT that this ranks really high in Google's EAT guidelines, and here's what they are." And then you can even link them up, or it even knows what they are now. Then you can just say in the right spots, give me put these brackets in here, put experience or authority or trust or reviews, show me where in the content it would add value for me to add things that build authority, expertise, authority, trust, and give me an example of what it might look like. I did that, and it had a piece of content. It gave me all the spots where I should put in my expertise, authority, and
Yeah.
trust in there.
That's
It's
good,
cool.
man. Yeah. I love prompts like that. They work really well. Maybe we'll share one of those during the coaching call part in a
Mhm.
bit. Okay, so last thing I want to talk about, and then we'll jump into the live coaching call. If you guys listen to the podcast after the fact, like I said, join us live every week. We do a little bit of screen sharing. We answer a bunch of questions, which we have some really good questions already coming in. So thanks for chiming those in, y'all. We'll share visual examples. It's the deeper dive. So this is the high level strategy. The live coaching calls afterwards. So last thing here before we dive in, Trevor, what are the tips for making a blog actually
Mm.
convert into leads? So we
Yeah.
actually made some changes in the back end of Carrot recently
Yep.
to help with this.
Heck yeah. And we're going to show, like you're saying, in the coaching call portion of this, guys, if you're listening to the podcast part and you want like the full blown experience, the visuals, the coaching, be able to ask questions, head over every single Thursday at 11 o'clock Pacific time in the Facebook group, Evergreen Marketing. Just go find us over there, or community.carrot.com, and you'll see the whole thing, or check us out on YouTube. All right. But with this, the principles of conversion here hold true, just like what we teach elsewhere. Okay. So when when we say to make a high converting web page or website, what do we say? Well, towards the top of the page, you should have a good, clear call to action,
Yeah.
right? Your primary call to action, not a free report, but it should be the primary thing that your service does. Get an offer, or
Yeah.
set up an appointment to
Same form that's
whatever.
on the homepage.
Exact same form. Yeah. So towards the top. And then same principle when we're teaching people or educating them on their home pages, you should always have something at the bottom, right? So where someone starts getting your content and where someone ends, you want to give them an opportunity to start with, yeah, I'm ready to go. I want to solve the problem. Let me just submit it. If they're not, let them read. But then at the end, you never want to leave them hanging. You always want to give them a spot to solve their problem right there before they go, well, what do I do now? Or hit the back button. But then my next rule of thumb is I would say about every 500 words or so, doesn't have to be exact, have that call to action in there, like literally in line in the content. So it could have your form in there with a headline over it that just kind of breaks up the content like an ad would for on a news website you're reading,
Yeah.
right? You're reading a news website, they'll have an ad in there. Use your business as the ads in your content. And I think that's something that people aren't thinking about. They're going, oh, I'm launching blog posts. I'm launching blog posts.
Mhm.
No, if done right, the blog posts can get leads like the ones I talked about. There was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of leads where people submitted on the blog post
Yep.
because they used the space to advertise the next step, and they put their CTA at least 3 times on there.
Yeah. And in some of the topics that you're posting in your blogs, or at least if you're doing this correctly, should be really high value content that people love.
Yeah.
And when they're reading that content, they're like, man, this is good stuff. These guys really know what they're talking about. They're primed to opt into something.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a CTA or a form in there, you're missing out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So summarize it. We'll wrap up the verbal portion of the show. Blog posts are still relevant. Weblogs are still relevant in 2024
That's
for
right.
local search and for conversion. Don't need a blogger.com account. You could do it with Carrot super easily. We've got tools like the Niche Authority Builder, make it really easy to get blog posts launched on your website. Where do they fit in your marketing strategy? Attract new visitors with long tail keywords and build up the overall credibility of your website. The strategy is topic clusters and having those supporting posts all linking back to each other. We'll dive into that in a sec. And then make sure that your blogs are optimized for conversion. You have forms on them. But yeah, that's the gist of it. Hope y'all enjoyed that. If you're just listening to the podcast portion, like we said, join us every week. Check out the newsletter too. Go to carrot.com/blog. We'll put in the highlights of the podcast, summarize it for you in the newsletter, and some other really gold marketing tips every other week that I write and send out. So it's good stuff.
And guys, leverage our tools internally, because we have the Niche Authority Builder. We have so many other features in there to make doing this easier. We'll teach you how to do it in the coaching calls, community.carrot.com.
Sweet.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, man. Let's do this. We got questions rolling in. Like,
heck yeah.
Like,
keep them coming.
Use tires at a Jiffy Lube. I don't know. We got a lot of questions rolling in. Let's take a few questions and then we'll jump into some examples. Okay, Tony, when I'm using one of the authority blogs that you provide, in addition to making the content unique, do I need to do anything with the target SEO phrase? For example, if the target is sell my house in whatever city, do I need to modify the URL and the audit section at the bottom of the blog post to add Ohio, like sell my house fast in Ohio? Or is that a way for helping my geolocation pages rank?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Kind of. So one thing that would help, Tony, is if you have a link. So shoot me a link through on what it is, and we can check it out. But I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about, right? So at the high level location pages, like your Sell My House Fast Cincinnati, or Sell My Land Fast, or Sell an Inherited House Fast, ideally your location pages should be city specific, and you should always have a state page for the primary keywords you're going after, right? A state page for Sell My House in Ohio. Okay. And then you would have a location page for the city, Sell My House Fast in Cincinnati, Sell My House Fast in Akron, Sell My House Fast in Dayton. Okay. Now, when we get into the niches and we start to talk about fire damaged as an example, or inherited, or the situations, that's something that, here's my rule of thumb on it, and everyone might not agree with this, is if you are hyper focused and the majority of your business is in one city, okay, let's say 80% plus of your business is in one city, and that city's big enough. It's not Roseburg, Oregon, 25,000 people. Let's say it's at least 500,000 people. I would test out localizing those with that city. Okay. Yeah. Because what you're saying is no, yeah, I'm in Ohio, and I do buy in these areas, but man, I'm really in this city. You know, almost all my business is in this city.
Yeah.
For a lot of those, that will work really, really good. Now, another approach that you could do, and if maybe your focus isn't like 80% plus in the one city, is I would make those state focused. So if it was hoarder house, inherited house, fire damage, things like that, then I would make them state focused. Sell your Ohio fire damaged house quickly.
Yeah.
Sell your, whatever it is, sell your inherited house quickly in Ohio.
Yeah.
I would make them state focused. Now, the reason for that is Google will recognize and know that the majority of your traffic, the majority of your visitors, and your content is hyper focused on Akron if that's your primary
Mhm.
market. But then it'll reward you with giving you rankings that are outside of Akron when you have it state focused. On that page, put Akron, put all your cities in there in some way. So dive in and don't just publish that content just as it is, publish it, but then go, cool, let me add some of the cities
So
I buy
Google's
in.
smart enough to know, okay, this can apply to all of Ohio. It's not just going to
Exactly.
pigeonhole you to Akron.
Exactly. And then if your homepage is Akron or whatever. So those are the two examples. Like, so not everyone's going to agree with me on that,
Yeah.
but I've seen enough data and I've seen enough of that. And I'll recap. If 80% plus of your business now and you see in the future being one city and it's big enough, yeah, localize some of those to that city and see what happens. It might give you a great result.
Yeah.
If you're spread thin and going after multiple markets, or you see yourself growing into other markets, make all those niches about the states.
Nice. That makes sense. I think that answers it really well. Tony has some other questions on making it unique. We'll go over that in a second. I'm going to bounce around a little bit. We'll show some visual examples. It'll be
Mm.
easier to show that than to just talk through it. How do you make the blog post unique? Let's see. Another one from Amran Property Investments. Where does one find trendy blog titles
Mm.
for blog pages that will attract homeowners or potential leads?
Yeah.
I think Niche Authority Builder, this is what we built this for.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you start with the Niche Authority Builder.
Yep.
You wanna would this be a good time to share it up?
Let's do it. So I've got my
right.
screen, Braden. If you can bring that bad boy up. So a couple things. So I'm gonna dive into the back end of this site here. Gonna be in Louisville next week, like we said. I'm pumped. Get to hang out with Mr.
You got to
Bohals.
practice, man. The locals are gonna tear you up. We got Louisville.
Louisville. All right, cool. So I'm right here on the content page. So this is something that's relatively new. If you haven't checked out the content page, let's say in the last 6 months, this is new for you, where we've kind of organized this a little bit better. Okay, we've got auto locations tool, which helps you kind of create these virtual location pages. That's not what today's topic is on. And then it shows your pages, posts, landing pages. I'm going to go down here to niche topics. Okay. So there's a few of these that are already launched live. So if I were to go in here, add new niche topic, now I'm going to talk y'all about good, better, best. Okay. And good, better, best in marketing. So I'm always going to raise the bar for you for best, which is if you're trying to go 10 out of 10 execution on this, what is best? But then I'm going to go, if you don't have the time, energy, money, desire to do that, what is better than nothing? And then I'm going to go, well, if you don't want to do that, this is something this is good. This is the 3 out of 10 version.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would say that the niche topic builder, that niche authority builder is great for is it the 10 out of 10? No, the 10 out of 10 is you becoming an expert in keyword research and diving in and analyzing your competitor stuff and writing content from scratch, writing a 1,500 word piece of content from scratch, right? That's 10 out of 10. Okay.
Mhm.
And optimizing it from an expert level SEO. That's 10 out of 10. This, I would say, is probably a 7 out of 10. Okay. This is better. This is where we go, okay, so if you don't want to go do all that research, we've done a lot of it for you and we continue to do that. So here on the screen, here's some topics that we just give you. You can leverage these already. And then if I were to click into this one, selling an inherited property in whatever market you're in, then I'm going to go here. I'm just going to go ahead and pick and type in Louisville. There we go. I'm getting better at it, Brady. And then we scour our system for the thousands of articles that we have human written on these topics. And then we go, cool, we're also going to create for you these other pages. So these other pieces of content that have now some optimization towards them. Now, what I would do is I would go through and do that and then use the AI tool to kind of just tweak up that content a little bit. Okay. Add in some of your expertise, add in some of that, spend 10 minutes per article max on it. Okay. Now you don't have to spend any time on it,
Mhm.
but it just helps. It gets it up towards the better execution. But this is a spot where you can get ideas because we've already done the research on it. How to price your inherited home in blank city for sale. How to avoid probate court in blank area. How to sell an inherited house in blank area with many heirs involved. That was one that popped up.
And these are researched by humans at Carrot, written by humans, optimized for SEO for the keywords you're trying to go after.
Exactly.
Specific to your location.
Yeah. So there's 8 right here on this one topic. But if we go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there's 8 niche topics right here for seller sites. So you're talking 50 to 75 individual topics right there, y'all.
Yeah. And we've actually got the team is actively working on more topics right now. So we're adding more over the coming
Mhm.
2 or 3 months. We're going to be
Yep.
putting more topics in here.
So here's another way to do it. Okay, now pull up Keyword Explorer. So Keyword Explorer is part of our.
Trevor,
Hit me.
explain for me why you're answering how to use the Niche Authority Builder tool to
Yep.
write a post, and then it's going to write 8 different posts for you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Internal
Yeah.
linking. Yeah. We kind of
Explain
glossed
to the
over
people
that.
asking this question why it's going to make all those posts.
Yep. No, that's good. So let me go back to where I was here. So we're going to go back to content, and we explained it earlier in this episode, kind of in the podcast version, where ideally, if you're wanting to really scale things out, you create topic clusters. Okay. And we'll link up, Brady, if you can link up that Help Center tutorial where people can kind of see the visual of it.
Yeah. I sent it through
got it?
earlier.
Cool.
I can shoot it through again. Yeah.
So a topic cluster, if you were to kind of, if you're just listening to this and you don't go to that tutorial, picture like a wheel, right? The wheel has a hub, right? It's got a hub, and it's got these spokes that go out to the outside. The hub is your pillar page. The hub is your page, the longer page. It's maybe 1,500 words, maybe 2,000 words. Let me go down here and just show this again. The hub is a long piece of content that is kind of the central piece on that topic. So right here, this would be the hub, selling an inherited property. What I like to do with those niche pages is, what are the situations that your primary client is going through? Okay, so for house buyers, right, wholesalers and flippers, the situations are inherited, fire damage, divorce, tired landlord, hoarder house. There's probably 8, 9, 10 common situations. Okay.
Mhm.
I would have a niche, a long, robust niche page in each one of those. So that's some of the stuff that we've got in here. We've got inherited, probate, how to sell a rental property, fire damage, foreclosure, divorce, unpermitted work. So we've got like some of the common ones in there.
Mhm.
Great. Get that piece of content out there, localized for your state if you are in multiple markets, or if you're just in one big market, it could be for your city. Now, to make it more powerful, we want to have supporting pieces of content that are about that topic but go deeper. They're shorter. They don't have to be 1,500 words. They might be 800 words, okay? But they link up to that original piece. It shows that you have topical authority on that
They
thing.
literally link. So they've got
They literally
hyperlinks
link.
in that content that are hyperlinking back to the original post. So they're talking to each other.
Exactly. So on this one here, if I want to go after the inherited property topic, and it's for the Marco Louisville, or I could even just pick to Kentucky altogether, right? If I'm in multiple markets in that place, I'm just going to do my state. Okay. Then I'm gonna go, cool. Carrot's gathering these pieces of content in our database and saying these are the ones that are about probate.
Yeah.
Now you can delete some of these, right? If you're like, I just want 4 of these, great. Publish them, and then before they're actually published, or click that button. Then before they're actually published, you can just delete them if you wanted to, or you can keep all 8. So these are more details now. Well, how do you price an inherited home? That's a question people might ask. How do you avoid probate? Okay, how do you sell it when there's a lot of errors involved? What are the tax consequences of it? What about siblings with it? What do you do after you inherited a house? Like, what can you do? What are the costs involved in facing or in inheriting the house? How do you handle the property when there's no will? These are all completely different niches of content, all related to that major topic of inheriting.
Yep.
Okay. So this is what we're doing, and this helps you create that topical authority. And so if I were to go through and do this now, it brings me to the primary niche page, right? The topical niche page. And you can see we build in the things that we talked about before. It's got the CTA at the top. Okay. And we make it for that niche. Sell the inherited property. Okay. Here's your CTA. And then it's a bunch of content. Another CTA, a bunch of content. Okay. And then here's links to the other probate articles in that piece, another piece of content. I would come in here, add some photos, add a case study of a property, a video of a property that you did with an inherited person. That's going to be a killer piece of content.
So let's tackle that. Tony was asking, he said, also, what other changes other than what you mentioned today, making it unique, would you make to them? That's really it. So use the AI rewrite tool like Trevor's showing.
Yep.
Super easy. Click on it. You can hit rewrite, see the before and after. If you don't like it, you can hit rewrite again and accept the edit. You can still tweak it, and it retains what we call the short codes where it says Market City. So it's going to retain SEO best practices. You don't need a bunch of complicated prompts, which is awesome. You're not going back and forth in ChatGPT. So use the AI rewrite tool. add in your own personality, your voice and tone. Add in any of your own expertise. So if you've done deals related to that topic, put a little short story in there.
Hmm.
Add in photos of properties that you've worked with or deals you've closed that relate to that
There we go.
topic.
Yep.
Yeah. What
I
else would
love
you
it.
do?
Yeah, I mean, those are the biggies. I wouldn't spend a lot of time on them at the start. So the kind of what I do and what my process is, I definitely wouldn't launch like all 8 or all 9 niche, topic deals at once, because what's going to happen then is it looks unnatural. That all of a sudden I launched 64 new pages on my site in 5 minutes.
Right.
Right. So I would maybe schedule a couple a month.
Yeah.
Okay, do a couple a month. You're going to nail the inherited one this time, and then, or maybe one a month, and then I might do another one. But here's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to launch that. I'm going to launch that post. I'm going to go through and take a few of these paragraphs and rewrite them in AI. Our system automatically keeps the short codes in there, so you can see we're going to localize it. And I just ran that AI text through, because we have a special prompt engine behind the scenes that makes sure that it knows who you're talking to. It knows your type of business. It knows where to put the short codes and how to use the short codes. And it knows how to make it not AI generated content.
Yeah.
And so right here, I ran it through this AI content detector, shows as 100% human generated content in that example. Anything over 90 is really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and confirm this rewrite. I'm gonna do that with a few of the 4 or 5 of the other paragraphs. I'm gonna add a couple pictures if I have some. I'm gonna add a video of a testimonial or a testimonial or two about someone who I worked with in there, right?
Yeah.
If you don't add them, that's fine. But then the very next thing I'm going to do is we'll down here, we automatically inherit the meta title, automatically inherits the title above. So those titles that we've built on these are based off of the keyword research.
Yeah.
Okay. The meta description, so that's blank and that's okay. And here's a couple reasons why. We're finding more and more that Google's going to rewrite titles and descriptions at will. And even inside of the Google Leaks document, it alluded to the fact that meta descriptions almost don't matter anymore, because they're just going to rewrite it.
We were talking about this last week with Mallory. It's like it can influence it, influence it, but you can't guarantee. By choosing the meta title, meta description, Google's going to look at other factors, other things on the page, on your website, to pull what they want to pull.
Yep.
But it can help influence.
Exactly. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this keyword, and now I want to go, cool, I launched these. Now I want to track. Okay. We go create launch track. So I would publish that. I'm not going to publish this because it's not my website, but if it were, I would publish it. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to make sure in my SEO tool, under my rankings tab, now I add the keywords I'm trying to go after with that niche group of content that I did. So I pop over here, and we've added a bunch more keywords now, guys. So this is one of the benefits. We rolled out a big update on the SEO tools. Now you're getting, I think it's 4 to 5 times more keywords that you can track for this.
We gave
price.
People 100 additional keywords to track for free.
100 additional keywords to track. You have access to these new features, the search performance feature, which integrates into your Google Search Console. That's amazing. We've added the site audit tool for the SEO tools add-on as well.
Yeah.
For $29 a month, it's insane the value that you get. So I would come in here and I'm gonna go, cool, selling an inherited property in Kentucky. Bam. If I knew how to spell. So Kentucky, and then I'm going to click add keyword. And now I've got 3 or 4 more keywords from that niche group of content I did that now I'm tracking. Then I'm just going to sit back. Okay, I'm going to sit back. And as long as I'm doing the right things and I've got my credibility and trust and I've got a handful of good quality backlinks I'm being built and I've got my Google My Business profile nailed and things like that, I want to see how this does now. I might wait 2 to 4 weeks before I really kind of get pressure on myself to go, well, is this thing ranking better? But yeah, maybe 2 weeks from now, I'll pop it open. I'll look at all those, like this one right here, sell my rental property in Louisville. I'm going to look at it and go, hey, how's it doing? What's the trend look like? If it's trending up, keep it. If it got stuck or it's not going anywhere, maybe go customize a little bit more of that content.
It's little tweaks.
Little tweaks. Yep.
So you talked about, Trevor, good, better, best model, like the best version for blog posts. I got a comment from Brad. He said, I utilize the video post tool frequently to convert my YouTube content into blogs. Dude, Brad, this is the best version. The best version is You do your keyword research, you find out what people are searching for, how you can answer their questions in an authentic, valuable
Mm.
way. Do it with a video, turn that into a blog post. So you're pairing the video content with the written content because Google owns YouTube and they're
Yep.
showing up in the same spots. Video searches are showing, or videos are showing up in Google searches. Anyways, you pair those two together, do your headings, optimize it for SEO, and that's the best version. So
Yeah.
Brad said, on my mobile home website in the past 7 days, I've had 31 visitors to video blogs, 2 leads or conversions, and pretty sure one is going to be a deal.
There we go.
That's awesome. Closing a
Dude,
deal
people
from
don't
video
use
posts.
that darn thing enough.
Yeah.
I'd even challenge our team to go like, let's lean into that more because it's a feature that is there. It's been there for years, and I think that feature is only going to get more and more powerful.
Yeah.
Because when we're in the age of credibility, which I've been saying this for 7 years, we truly are, and it just keeps on getting more and more important. You have to stand out, and when everyone in the market, and by everyone I'm painting a broad stroke, right? It's an exaggeration, but not much. When everyone in the market, as wholesalers, flippers, or even into agents, have the same value proposition, meaning I can make an offer on your house, I close quickly, I close for cash. That's the same value proposition.
Yeah.
What is going to help you stand out? It's like it's either the way that the experience you're providing. I'm fast, I'm timely, it's a good experience, and or your trust.
Yeah.
And where people get that is if they're bouncing around 2 or 3 sites looking for a solution, and they talk to one other person over here and they see Brad's video and they're like, I don't know, Brad just seems like a good dude.
Even with the same value proposition.
Exact same. Exact same.
There,
He
people
just
who
seems
watch
like a
video,
good
they're
dude.
just predisposed to work with you.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got the data to back this up, but it's not just specific to real estate investing. Any industry is just, it's as simple as this. People watch video, they see you, and there's this magic phenomenon that happens where you're the perceived expert.
Yeah.
And when they see you in person, it's an easier close. They want to work with you more. They like you. They trust you.
Mhm.
Video just has that magic.
Yep.
And so, yeah, actually, I was working with Chris Ty. He's in the community all the time. He's in the Epic program. Chris invited me on his podcast recently. So he's a general contractor.
Yeah.
And my wife and I, we built our own home. We built a barndominium, and I hate calling it that, but after we finished, barndominiums kind of took off. And anyways, he said, "Hey, come on the podcast. I want to interview you about what it was like building our own barndominium," because he's in Texas, a general
there we go.
contractor, and
Yep.
and people are asking this question a lot. There's search volume behind. Is a barndominium worth it?
Yep.
Should I build a barndominium? So we recorded the podcast, not thinking much of it. And afterwards, I was like, dude, if you want, there's some low hanging fruit. Like
Yeah.
this probably has search volume. It makes sense for you as a contractor.
Yep.
So Chris hit me up yesterday and he said, boom, here's the blog post.
Yeah.
So you could use video post for it, use that transcript, turn it into a blog post and put the video on there,
Yeah.
dial in the headings. And
Dude, it works
it's
so
awesome.
good. I pulled up Brad's site, and Brad, I haven't seen your site in a bit, dude. You've been going crazy on the video. I
Been
love
going
this.
wild.
So if I landed on Brad's site, or if I landed on 2 or 3 sites in this area, and I saw Brad's versus someone that is even using the Carrot site, all the fundamentals are the right fundamentals, right? We set you at an even high performing playing field with other Carrot members and ahead of the other alternatives by a wide margin. And then now you get to go, how do I stand out more, right? And so Brad is really doubling down on the video side of it. And so right here, he's got a video there. Hey, rookies versus experienced investors, contract red flags you need to look out for, whole bunch of stuff. So if Brad wants to make a piece of content on this, he's got a couple hundred subscribers on here as well, which is really cool. I just grabbed that URL, pop back into my website. I got too many tabs open here, man. That's normal though.
We need a swear jar for that.
There it is.
We need a soundbite we can click. I got too many tabs.
Too many tabs. So I went into the post deal, and then you can choose a blog post, a weblog post, a blog post,
Yeah.
or a video post. Take the video, put it right in there. Click next. It pulls this video in automatically. We transcribe it because this was a longer video, so you're probably not going to normally do a 13-minute video here. But my rule of thumb with this type of content is the average person speaks like 120 to 160 words a minute if you're just like talking at a normal pace. Okay. And so if I want to make a 500 word article, it's probably a 3 to 5 minute video of me talking the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay. So on these ones here, I'd probably aim to try to make them around 800 to 1,000 words, which means that's a 500 to maybe or that's a 5 to 7 minute video. Okay. So all you guys need to do, a 5 to 7 minute video. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we charge, we just pass through, I'm pretty sure we just pass through our costs from rev.com, which is the transcription service.
Yeah.
The last I looked, it was $1.25 a minute, but it might have changed since then.
I think it's still $1.25.
Yeah.
But it's human transcription. So
Yep.
you're going to be spending a lot less time editing and looking for flub
Mhm.
ups. Because even if an AI generated transcript, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, Brady, I could just take the transcript, plug into Chat GPT.
Yep.
Well, you can, but do you want to spend your time looking for all
Yeah.
the spots where it didn't transpose it correctly?
Exactly. So we're going to pass along that cost, which is going to save you. I mean, that $24 right there, if I were to do this for Brad's, it's going to save him probably 2 hours of writing content,
Mhm.
right? And how much is your time worth? It's worth a lot more than $24. So then I would click purchase now, which I'm not going to do. And then it's going to email me a couple hours later and say, hey, your article's ready. It's got the video at the top of it, your title, it's all written content, a call to action at the bottom. And like Brad said, then he's going to go in and he's going to do some edits. You could use the AI tool to edit up a little bit. You could add pictures. You could just write some content in there if you wanted to. But you don't even need to edit it technically from a content perspective because it's all unique content. Right. The main spots that I tend to look at editing is just making it look more like an article.
Yeah.
Add a couple headlines, a couple links to some other pages, 5 minutes and you're done.
Yeah. Nothing crazy.
Yep. Exactly.
It's really not that hard. It's not that complicated. A lot of people just don't want to spend a little bit of extra effort. So those who do, like Brad, they're gonna succeed.
Getting deals.
Sweet. Let me look at a couple questions and then we will wrap it up. Let's see. How does the limit on Tony says, how does the limit on using AI to rewrite content work? You shouldn't have to worry about it. That's the answer. We
Mhm.
made it so that 99% of people won't hit the limit. You don't have to worry about it. If you're using it like crazy, you may hit the limit, which I think that does it bump you to a new tier for content tools?
It's a good question.
I
Yeah,
think it may.
that one, I don't know what we're doing on that specifically right now, but what I would do is, Tony, if you're consistently hitting the limit on the AI rewrite, go talk with our team, go talk with the support and customer experience team and say, hey, I'd like to find a way to use more of this if you're hitting up on those limits. And guys, if you're listening to this, we want to hear that from y'all. We want to hear when you're maxing out our feature sets. We want to hear when you think that, man, if it only did this, it would fully solve the problem for me. We want to hear the things that are going to be most valuable for you to save your time. Talk with our customer experience team inside of the live chat or by email, or do it in the Facebook group. Like, pop all those in the Facebook group. I wish Carrot did X. Or I hit my limits on AI every single month. What can I do to get more? We're listening to those things, guys.
Yep.
But as far as that goes, yeah, connect with our team. And you might not have been asking this, Tony, but if you're kind of talking from the perspective of, is there a limit on how much of your content you should AI rewrite? Like, as an example, oh my gosh, should I rewrite 100% of that niche authority blog with AI, or should I rewrite 50%? Here's my rule of thumb with it. So Google has came out and said, it's posted on their website where they say AI content is not bad. It's actually a good thing when used the right way. They don't penalize AI generated content. What they say is they want to make sure that the content is useful, it's valuable, and it solves the problem. And that when someone lands in that page, it truly solves that problem for that person. Okay. They don't care how it was generated. So if you look at Zillow.com, how many of Zillow.com's pages are actually someone sat down there and wrote them? None of them. Almost none of them. Right. Almost all of them are machine generated and now with AI attached to them as well. But they crush Google for rankings because they're useful. Because once people land there, they're useful pages with useful content. So that's the biggest thing. You could technically rewrite all of it, 100% of it with AI. I would just read it from the perspective of, okay, is this useful? Is this valuable if someone were to land on here? And is there anything I can add to it that adds my expertise that makes it even more useful and valuable?
Yeah. Is this content that my ideal prospect would want to consume?
Mm-hmm.
Put yourselves in their shoes.
Yep.
just like how you do with any other marketing. Okay, last question, and then we'll wrap it. Tony said, "Can you speak on how the enhanced support service add-in works and how to best use it to get to 3 leads per day?" Um, we have a premium support add-on. You can add on to your account. It's a way to get phone access to our team. So for most people, live chat and the Facebook community, hopping on these podcasts with us suffices. But if you want to hop on a phone call with a real human being in the US and talk about all your questions and problems,
Mhm.
things popping up in your head, that's the fastest way to
Yep.
get it done. So your time to results is going to get faster.
Yep.
3 leads per day is achievable with some cases with just SEO, but more realistically, depending on the market, with SEO and paid ads, and driving traffic to your site from multiple sources. But Tony, if you're looking to get results faster and you have, well, I know you have a lot of questions. You pop up on these lives, and
Mhm.
we do our best to answer them. But yeah, the premium support, being able to hop on the phone. With the team member instead of waiting a week for coaching call or
Yep.
something like that might be worth it for you.
And,
So
and it's one-on-one. That's the cool thing. I
Yeah.
remember Eric on our team, who has a lot of those one-on-one calls with our clients,
mhm.
with our members. He was working. It was a celebration at the team level sometime in the last month. I'm going to get some of the details wrong,
Yeah.
but I do remember Eric was involved in this particular one. But so many of our customer experience team members are having these conversations every day, where the person was a little bit confused on what their next step was, and they could use some guidance. So Eric hopped on with them for quite a while and just dove in. And he's like, "Okay, where are you at right now? Where are your goals?" He gave him specific action steps to take to get to that next spot. And then the client reported back later, "Oh my gosh, I'm so clear." And they started to really move towards those results and goals.
Yeah.
And so it just, like Brady said, it just really depends on where you thrive the most when you're trying to learn something new, or what level of help you need. A lot of our members, they're just going to go down the rabbit hole of education, and they're going to tweak and test and show up here, and that's what they want. A good number of our members want those resources, but like, I could really just cut through the clutter and would love one of you guys to focus on one-on-one time with me and to help me make a plan.
Yeah, it's good to have the
That's what that's about.
guardrails or someone to check in on the work you're
Yep.
doing to say, okay, this is what I would change, this is what I would tweak. You're
Mhm.
on the right path. You're not. I'll share just the one thing. I'm writing this week's the newsletter that's going on Tuesday, and I'm throwing this in there. But somebody came in recently and said, this is their quote: "After signing up for premium support, my only comment is, why did I wait so long? Although I've only had 3 phone calls, which you can get to cover a lot of ground in 3 phone calls with a
Yeah.
care team member. I've learned so much in such a short time." He said, I try I try not to think about how much time I wasted by building my website without premium support, let alone the possible leads I lost.
Mm.
The context there is he was building a website that it's not even the typical use case for Carrot. It was a little bit outside our normal templates, and so he had a lot more questions. But he's like, man, they could have shown me how to do
Yeah.
this faster.
Yep. And here's kind of one last thought. This is the way that I think about these things, Tony, and everyone else listening. Is I've got the book "Buy Back Your Time" up there on my wall or back here somewhere. Is okay. How much money am I aiming to make this year? How much money did I make this last year? Right. I'm going to take that, and let's say that you want to make $200,000 this next year. Okay. So you take $200,000, pull out your calculator. You take 200 grand. You divide it by 2,000. That's approximately the number of hours in that work year, approximately, and that's $100 an hour. Okay, so if I want to make $200,000 this year, I need to be doing more often than not work that's worth at least $100 an hour to my business. Okay, so that means things that are $10 an hour, $20 an hour, $30 an hour tasks, I've got to outsource them. Or that means for every hour that I waste doing something that I could do quicker and cut the learning curve, I wasted $100. So when we think about these investments, it is easy to go, man, but premium support is another X amount more per month, which it's not a
It's
lot
like
more.
$69 a month.
Yeah, let's even
Yeah.
say it was $100 for round numbers. Premium support is $100 a month, which it's not, but $100 a month more. If it can save you just 1 hour this month and increase your confidence just one notch, it's worth many times that. Because if you go in this direction like that member, and they started to build something out, just kind of using their own knowledge, and it took them 4 hours of build out, and then they talk with our team, and our team's like, that's not going to get it there. You
Yeah.
just wasted $400 of your time versus $69 for premium support to save you that 4 hours. So we always have to be thinking about the value of our time.
No brainer.
Yeah, and then any feature that we roll out at Carrot, we always say, okay, how do we make sure that you get a 10x return on this feature? Okay, that's our guideline internally, 10x value return. With the SEO tools, the other tools in the market are minimum double that, but Ahrefs is $100 a month. We're going to continue to put in more features, so we're giving you 3x value alone on that thing there. But then it saves you a bunch of time, right? So now you don't have to bounce between multiple tools and guess and bounce over to Google Search Console and bounce over here to Ahrefs and pay more money. We're saving you, 3 to 10x on that investment and helping you accelerate the results. So
That's what's up, man.
that's the way we do it.
I love the way you break down math and time like that. It's great. Tony said, I'm reading Buy Back Your Time based on your recommendation now, and the book 80/20 arrives today.
Oh,
Get
there
it,
we go.
Tony.
You've been listening to the podcast, man.
Yeah.
There we go. See, Braden, people listen to the podcast right there.
Last question, and then I promise we'll bounce because I know I've got a reputation for saying this is the last thing, and it never is. Caleb says, is it okay to somewhat copy and paste blogs? No, you don't just want to get in and use our automated blog posts and just launch them on your site without doing anything. Get in there, spend a little bit of time tweaking them, use the AI rewrite tool, add in a couple images, make it unique to yourself. You don't want to just go in there and just launch and just put out content. So yeah.
And there, here's my final word on that, because you will see people on Facebook who are using 100% AI generated content, right? And it might be wicked smart engine behind it, but the challenge that I have there, and this, people are going to disagree with me on this, right? But at Carrot, there's certain things that we have purposefully not adopted over the years that others would say, oh my gosh, why hasn't Carrot done this? Because I don't see it as a long-term strategy that's going to work. Okay, it might work now, and you might get great results now. But when we don't adopt something, oftentimes it's like, well, because we don't see that it being a part of the picture in 2 years or 3 years, but it works now. So here's what I mean. So with that, if you are copying and pasting a blog article or just straight up doing 100% AI without kind of doing some tweaks to it, it may get some results now. It may get some results for the next 6 months. It may get some results for the next year. But we're already seeing where some of those sites are getting, I wouldn't say the word penalized, but the results are going down over a period of time because it is gaming the system. So we have to ask the question, are we looking for true evergreen marketing, where our marketing works in a year, it works in 2 years, it works in 3 years, it works in 5 years? Or are we looking for quick hits and gaming the system, growing a bunch of crappy backlinks so we can get a website ranking fast like this, but 9 months later, 13 months later, it starts to go down again? Adding in a bunch of duplicate content, copy paste, or full AI written content that isn't as useful, man. It gets a bunch of stuff now, but a year later it starts to tank because Google recognizes that it's not all that useful.
Yeah.
So does it require a little bit higher bar from us as a company and a higher bar from you guys as business operators to say, well, what's going to be here for years, and how do I? Maybe it is a slightly harder way to get there in the short term because it takes a little bit more work, but I think it's way less work in the long term because now you're not doing things that are just going to go down the tubes in a year.
Yeah. Good question, Caleb. Thanks for popping that in. I'm going to guess maybe you hopped on late. I didn't see you in here before, but thanks for hopping on YouTube and asking that. You said he's currently using SEMrush, a tool called Content Shake AI.
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with it, but I am now. He said, any thoughts on using that, like using Content Shake to use blogs? I looked it up. It seems not bad. I've used some other AI tools. We're testing one out called Hoppy Copy just within Carrot Marketing right now. Some of them are just for me personally, as a copywriter, it's just a little bit too clunky and sometimes doesn't save me the time that I'd hope versus just writing it myself. You spend as much time with coming up with prompts and using the AI. Anyways, Content Shake is $60 a month. Our content tool suite is $29 a month. So you can get the blog post and the AI rewrite tool. So if I'm looking at it, it's Carrot's half the price and a better value. And we're already coming up with the specific content ideas for you as a real estate investor. And things like that, we definitely, Caleb, if you test it and you love it,
report that stuff to our team, because we're deeply looking
Yeah.
at where do we take AI for the next level. We've got some crazy cool things that we're focusing on right now from the data and AI perspective. But yeah, the Content Shake tool, it does do a couple things, of course, that our system doesn't do at a deeper level. It brings some of those ideas to you from research, and then it generates the article. I would just kind of be careful on the generate the article part. Let it generate the article, but then pass it through an AI content detector, and then spice it up, right? Add in some of your own personal expertise, some of your own personal authority in there. But it looks like
Yeah.
it could do something for sure. But yeah, start with our content tools. That brings in the research that we've done. And then as you want to scale it from there, I think the Content Shake looks interesting for sure.
Yeah. The key is the research. Like if you're going to use it, Caleb, and anyone using AI,
Mhm.
I'm putting this in this week's newsletter too. There's an article that Search Engine Journal put out about ChatGPT for SEO. And one of the takeaways that you need to be really careful about relying on AI for your keyword research. So a lot of things we're doing at Carrot are trying to help you with the strategy or do some of the strategy and keyword research for you. And we're saying, start here, do this type of content. I'd be really cautious to pass that off to AI and trust the AI to pick your keywords for you, because they don't have the full context of your business goals,
Mhm.
what you're after.
Yep. Experiment with it though, man. Launch 5 of them that are well written. Put them in the tracked rankings and
Yep.
see what happens over the next 60 days.
Put them on your weblog and let it rock.
That's right.
All right. That's a wrap for
Cool.
today, everyone. Blog posts are still relevant. Do them. Take the time to do them right. They'll pay off over the long term, help you get results like the examples we've shared in this podcast from people doing it right. The data is there. The proof is there. So that's it. Thank you so much for hopping on. Thanks for engaging. This is a heck of a lot more fun when y'all bring good
Oh, yeah.
questions. So keep showing up. Tell your friends, show up with you.
Lock it into the
Keep bringing good
calendar.
questions. Yeah.
Calendar, 11 o'clock Pacific time every Thursday, y'all. We're going to be here on a topic. Join us. Let's make it a party.
Yeah. Next week, Mallory and I are going over what to do when your rankings drop. So if you've dropped in Google, if you've dipped in Google, we're going to teach you what you need to look at and do to recover your rankings. And then the week after that, we're talking about some really obscure, like niche keywords and how Carrot members are getting leads and closing deals from keywords. You'd be like, what the heck? How did they do that? So that's going to be a fun one, very related to this.
I like it.
If we can help, hit up our team at carrot.com. If you're not yet a Carrot member, try us out. Go to carrot.com, take a demo. We love to help you out. But anyways, thanks, y'all. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.